Well, I'm going to back up here and take some of these questions.
Okay.
And let's just roll them out. So let's see here. Oh, I got a good comment. So Word Girl says, your voice sounds like Mary Steenburgen. I assume that's good because, for me, Mary Steenburgen's voice is really like calming. It's like a calming essential oil, like it's just a great
sweet
tone. Yeah.
Well, she's in that new show about Zoe's Playlist. I do love my Broadway musicals, and she's married to Ted Danson. So I'll take that. Thank you.
So Stan's asking, can COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder, be treated through the vagus nerve? What would you recommend oil-wise?
Yeah, that's a good one for vagus nerve stimulation. The other thing that we've been finding, cypress essential oil seems to be really good for kind of enhancing the lung barrier. And, reflux points, I find, like you can obviously apply it over the lungs, but I like efficiency. So the clavicle points, actually, if you're listening right now, if you just gently use your two fingers and kind of rub a little bit on your clavicles, and if that feels tender, that's a good thing to maybe rub and stimulate. But cypress oil is a really good one for that. And another good application point for that is just the back of the neck.
Awesome. So let's see, a question on a particular blend of oils that might address, and this is a big one, a big mouthful, dental issues.
Oh, dental issues.
I know there's probably a lot of different dental issues running through your mind right now. But vagus nerve toxicity, it's kind of a phenomenon that a lot of practitioners have noticed. And there is a Tufts researcher, Michael Van Eckler, who calls it the vagus nerve infection hypothesis. I have several blogs on this on my website, but one of the things that happens is you have, like amalgams or cavitations or just bacteria that drain along the jawline, like that's the exit route. And then they intersect the vagus nerve and can cause vagus nerve infection. So the parasympathetic blend behind the ear is a good choice to kind of clean up that congestion. But for actually in the mouth, I really like oil pulling. I have a recipe in the book where it's like, you can take, people like sesame oil. I didn't think it tasted very good. Katie Wells, Wellness Mama, had a really good recipe that she let me include where she uses coconut oil and peppermint. So it tastes kind of like a peppermint patty. And you just swish the oil in your mouth for 10 to 15 minutes. And, fat likes fat. So a lot of the pathogens are fat. It's almost like a magnet. It's pulling the pathogens out of the gums, and then you spit out the oil into a bottle. You don't spit it down the sink because it's pretty toxic. You don't swallow it because it's toxic. But my gums, I used to be a bit of a horror movie when I would go to the dentist, lots of bleeding. And I started doing that, and I don't have bleeding anymore. So it's not necessarily just rubbing an oil on, it's using it with oil pulling. And, try that for a month and see if it helps. Love it. Yeah. Sophia's asking about essential oils to alleviate skin inflammation.
Yeah. There's actually, if you go on Amazon, they have my anti-inflammatory recipe in there. It's a combination of like frankincense, dill, ginger, tarragon, a bunch of anti-inflammatory oils, and putting that on the bottom of the feet before bed. I do have a teenager, and she has a lot of friends who love that blend because it seems to really help with skin inflammation. Skin inflammation is often one of two things. It's gut issues and dysbiosis, and cleaning up the gut can help with that, or it's drainage. So toxins ideally go from the cell to the lymph to the blood to the liver to the gallbladder to the gut to the toilet. But if the liver or the gallbladder is congested, it gets pushed back into the blood, can't hang out in the blood. So it either gets pushed through the kidneys, so you might experience low back pain and frequent urination, or the skin, and you have any kind of skin eruption. So if you're looking for the root cause, either look at gut, start with maybe removing certain foods that might be likely to cause inflammation. Peter's a better source of that than I am. Or look to kind of clean up your, help with your drainage and detox.
So Whitty wants to know if you have a combination of oils that work best just for general anxiety.
I have a blend called Adrenal that I use for anxiety, and I put it on my low back. Parasympathetic is my best friend for anxiety. And then again, smelling anything through the left nostril. And that could be, go to Whole Foods
and just pick out whatever you like. A lot of people like the citrus blends. Neroli and bergamot are kind of well known for being good for anxiety. Those tend to be more expensive, the Porsches. You can also get like tangerine or orange. That's more like Honda Acura, but they're just as good.
Okay. Several people are asking about essential oils. Susan wants to know about essential oils for goiter. We've got a couple of other questions coming out of just general thyroid health, right? So what do you got for that?
So, frankincense and myrrh are the ones that are kind of renowned for the thyroid, but I love Isabella Wentz.
So
basically supporting the liver, and you can do that with oils, liver and gallbladder, before bed castor oil with either helichrysum or white grapefruit for the liver, and then for the gallbladder, black cumin seed oil, Roman chamomile is good. Just topically applying right side of the body under the breast. I think that is kind of magic for the thyroid. Frankincense and myrrh are great as well. And then anything you can do to support the endocrine system is really helpful, and the gut, especially eliminating, obviously if you have thyroid issues, eliminate gluten and dairy.
So let's talk then next about seizure reduction. Do you have any experience, or have you seen, clients that have had seizure problems do well with certain oils?
Right. So the parasympathetic blend, it's interesting. The vagus nerve implant that helps with epilepsy and seizures, because the more you can kind of calm the vagus nerve and activate the parasympathetic response, that really seems to help. I haven't, a couple of the clients that I've had that have used the parasympathetic have benefited from that. Some people also like frankincense. It kind of calms brain inflammation, so you can put it at the back of the head or behind the ears.
Okay. Mary's asking about dry mouth, like a Sjogren's type scenario or dry mouth.
Yeah, that's actually a parasympathetic symptom when you have dry mouth. So the more you can activate your vagus nerve, the more it kind of increases saliva.
So a lot of similarities here then.
Yeah.
Stacy's asking about like neurological pain in the neck. So like maybe disc herniation, impingement of a nerve. Is there anything that you find helpful there?
I have a blend called Nerve Repair that helps with that. And that tends to be like holy basil and things like that. But honestly, sometimes nothing replaces structural work. The other thing that helps is any kind of circulation support. So I have a circulation blend that's like black pepper, peppermint, cypress. What you're really trying to do, you want to increase blood flow, right? So that more oxygen gets there, so that it helps. And you also want to increase lymph flow, so that the good things can get in and the bad things can get out. But I would also encourage, make sure you see a chiropractor.
Okay. Yeah, good advice. I kind of have a partial good opinion about chiropractors, mainly because I am one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So those were the big questions coming through. Tell our audience where they can find more. I know we put a link up to your chapter 1 for free. And is the book available yet? I know. Did I get it? I think I may have got an early copy.
Got released March 16th, so it's available anywhere books are sold. Amazon, Target, Barnes & Noble, local bookstore. Yeah, and if they had any questions, they can email us at info@Vibrant Blue Oils. We try to get back to people within 24 hours. And my company is Vibrant Blue Oils, and I have a ton of blogs. I'm sure like you, the book was written and completed before COVID, and I just keep learning more. So I try to, every time I learn something new, I try to share it.
That's awesome. Love it. So the education piece is there. What was the website again for the blog post?
Oh, vibrantblueoils.com.
And also, if you're on my email newsletter, check your email, because we sent out, special links for you to check that stuff out as well. Look, thanks so much for tuning in. This was a special edition of Pick Dr. Osborne's Brain. So we're wrapping it up. Any last words of wisdom that you have to offer before we do wrap up today?
I think just the one thing that's really gotten me through the last year, we all have those days when we're driving in traffic and someone cuts us off and we don't really care. We're like, whatever, maybe they're in a hurry. It's all good.
And then another day, the same thing happens and we're really upset. And I think the only difference is our resilience in that moment. And so the more you can activate your vagus nerve, be it through deep breathing, through time in nature, through whatever works for you, the more you can really show up as your best self. Because there's so much that's happening right now that's kind of outside of our control, but what we can control is our response. And the more you access your parasympathetic nervous system, the more you can control your response and kind of show up as your best self.
Love it. Love it. Two more quick comments came in. One, Allison says that her sister has the book and she borrowed it and she really thought it was great. Thanks for sharing that, Allison. And then Jen is asking one last question. What about rosacea? Any oils that you found to be helpful for rosacea?
You know, it's interesting. I had rosacea, and for me, it was liver related. You know how I mentioned that if the toxins are being backed up in the liver, they get pushed out through the skin. So, you know, frankincense is good. Bottom of the feet is the best application point, but also anything you can do to really enhance your detoxification support, your lymph, your liver, your gallbladder, that will really help your skin.
All right. So, folks, great questions. Again, thanks for tuning in tonight for a special episode of Pick Dr. Osborne's Brain. Jodi, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your knowledge and wisdom.
I'm sorry that this, pretty bananas. I'm sorry for my tech.
It's okay. It happens. Tech happens, right?
Yeah.
But thank you so much. Thanks for being on and look forward to catching up with you again soon.
Okay, thank you. Enjoy your night.
Thank you. You too. Take care.
Hey, don't forget to check out the rest of the series right here. Make sure you hit subscribe below. And as always, thanks for tuning in.